We have a real problem with the storm and the aftermath of the storm.
Eustace Conway, a name that once defined the untamed spirit of mountain men. He was the embodiment of resilience, crafting a life off the land while inspiring millions to rethink what it means to live freely. But now there's a question hanging in the air: where has Eustace gone? What happened to the man who captured our imagination with his back-to-basics lifestyle? You've likely wondered why he vanished from our screens and what he's doing now. Stay with me, because not only will we uncover his story, but I'll also share a surprising twist about his life that most people don't know, a revelation waiting for you at the end of this video. Before we dive in, let's reflect on what made Eustace stand out in the first place. His life wasn't just about surviving in the wilderness, it was about thriving in a way that challenged modern norms. His every move seemed to say, "There's another way to live." But was the cost of that philosophy too high? In a world that values convenience, did Eustace pay the price for choosing authenticity over comfort? By the time we reach the conclusion, you'll not only know what became of Eustace, but also understand why his story carries a lesson that could change how you see your own life. For now, hold tight. The man who once walked barefoot across the Appalachian Trail has more layers to his story than you might think. Eustace Conway didn't just live a life in the wilderness, he became the wilderness. Growing up in Gastonia, North Carolina, Eustace had always felt a deep connection to nature. By the time he was in his 20s, he had walked away from modern life to embrace something raw, something real. He set up his home in the heart of nature, a sprawling 1,000-acre preserve in the Blue Ridge Mountains that he named Turtle Island. Turtle Island wasn't just a sanctuary for Eustace, it was his way of proving a point to the world. He believed modern society had lost touch with the essential skills that once defined humanity. His life became a testament to a simple yet profound philosophy: the more self-reliant you are, the freer you become. Through hunting, gathering, building his own shelters, and teaching others to do the same, he showed us a world where independence wasn't just an idea, it was a practice. Eustace didn't stop there. He became a teacher and a storyteller, sharing his wisdom with those willing to learn. His life gained national attention, eventually landing him a key role on Mountain Men. Suddenly, he wasn't just a lone figure in the woods, he was a symbol of resilience for millions. But fame brought its own challenges. Turtle Island, once a peaceful haven, became a focal point for debates about land use, zoning laws, and modern encroachments on a simpler way of life. And here's the thing: Eustace's rise wasn't just about escaping the modern world. It was about creating a living example of how life could be simpler, but richer in its connection to nature and community. But as his fame grew, so did the pressures. Did Eustace hold onto his principles, or did the weight of the modern world begin to crack the foundation he built? There's more to this story than meets the eye. Stay with me, because the next part reveals the unexpected challenges that pushed Eustace to the brink. These struggles may hold the key to why he stepped away from the public eye. As Eustace Conway's fame grew, so did the pressures that came with it. The world saw a man living freely off the land, but behind the scenes he faced battles that would test his resolve. The very lifestyle he championed, one of independence and simplicity, began clashing with the laws and systems of modern society. It started with Turtle Island itself. While Eustace saw the land as a sacred space for learning and living in harmony with nature, local authorities saw it differently. Building codes, zoning laws, and government regulations turned his dream sanctuary into a legal minefield. Officials questioned his hand-built structures and the safety of his programs. What was meant to be an escape from the red tape of modern life became entangled in it. Then there were the personal sacrifices. Living off the land isn't easy, and sharing that life with others can amplify the burden. Running Turtle Island required constant work, teaching workshops, managing resources, and fending off legal disputes. At times, it seemed the very dream he had worked so hard to create was at risk of collapsing under its own weight. But perhaps the most striking challenge came from within. Fame brought attention, and not all of it was positive. Critics questioned his methods, labeling them outdated or even dangerous. They argued that his vision, though inspiring, was impractical in a world where most people can't or won't off the grid. The pressure to defend his beliefs, maintain his lifestyle, and prove his critics wrong was immense. Yet through it all, Eustace never wavered in his mission. He stood firm, not just for himself, but for what Turtle Island represented. But it's this next twist in his journey that might surprise you. Just when it seemed like the challenges couldn't get any bigger, life threw Eustace another curveball, one that changed everything. What was the breaking point that led him to retreat from the spotlight? And what lessons can we take from the choices he made next? The answers are coming up in Section 4. You won't want to miss it. Just when it seemed Eustace Conway's life had reached a tipping point, something unexpected happened. The relentless battles with legal systems, the criticism from skeptics, and the physical and emotional demands of maintaining Turtle Island forced Eustace to confront a difficult reality. He had to choose: continue the uphill fight to protect his dream, or adapt to a world that seemed increasingly resistant to his way of life. It was during one of his most publicized legal battles over zoning violations that Eustace had a revelation. The struggle wasn't just about Turtle Island, it was about the world's disconnect from nature. He realized that for his mission to truly make an impact, it couldn't remain a one-man crusade. It needed to evolve just as nature does. Instead of retreating, Eustace doubled down on education. He expanded his focus, working to bridge the gap between traditional living and modern understanding. He began inviting not only wilderness enthusiasts but people from all walks of life, families, students, and even skeptics to experience Turtle Island. This wasn't just about learning skills, it was about changing perspectives. But the transformation wasn't just external. Eustace himself had to grow. He learned to navigate the system he once resisted, finding ways to meet legal requirements without compromising his values. It wasn't easy. There were compromises, moments of frustration, and sacrifices. Yet, through this process, he showed the world that even the fiercest individualists must adapt to survive and thrive in a changing environment. The turning point also revealed something profoundly human about Eustace: his ability to let go of pride when necessary. He began collaborating with like-minded organizations, leveraging modern tools to spread his message further than ever before. Documentaries, public talks, and partnerships helped bring his vision to a global audience. The man who once stood alone in the woods now inspired millions to reconnect with nature, even in small ways. But there's one final chapter to this story, a powerful message that encapsulates everything Eustace Conway stands for. What is the ultimate lesson from his incredible journey? Stick around for the conclusion. It ties together every challenge, victory, and transformation into a single takeaway that just might change how you see your own life. Eustace Conway's life is a reminder of one crucial truth: the way we live has profound consequences, not just for ourselves but for the world around us. His journey wasn't just about wilderness survival or a fight against modern systems. It was about finding balance between freedom and responsibility, individuality and community, tradition and progress. What makes Eustace's story so impactful is that it mirrors a choice we all face every day. Are we going to passively follow the convenience-driven currents of modern life? Or will we pause, question, and choose a path that aligns with something deeper: our connection to the earth, to each other, and to ourselves? The lesson from Turtle Island is clear: you don't have to abandon the modern world to embrace what matters. Start small. Plant a garden, spend a weekend in the woods, or simply take a moment to unplug. Every step, no matter how small, is a step toward a richer, more meaningful life. But here's the challenge: knowing is not enough. Action is what transforms knowledge into change. That's why I want you to think of one way you can reconnect with the natural world today. Maybe it's as simple as a walk outside or researching ways to live more sustainably. Whatever it is, commit to it and share it in the comments. Let's turn inspiration into action. And for those of you who've made it this far, here's your reward. In the description below, you'll find links to free resources inspired by Turtle Island guides on outdoor skills, sustainable living, and even a way to learn directly from Eustace Conway's philosophy. They're designed to help you take the first step wherever you are in your journey. Eustace Conway once said, "I live my life the way I want, and it doesn't hurt anyone else." But his story shows us something even greater. When you live true to your values, you don't just avoid harm, you inspire change. So now, it's your turn. How will you live? Let us know below, and take the first step toward a life that's not just lived but fully alive.